verse chorus. I'm gonna.
Hello everybody, my name is Mark and this is Why I Hate the World. How you doing? Last Monday the New York Times published a story which unveiled for the world the existence of a kill list which is being run out of the Oval Office by Barack Obama. And basically, if you don't know what the story is, it goes like this. Obama gets together with his top terrorism advisors and they go over various targets, kind of described as baseball cards of death or whatever. You know, they have files on high priority terrorism targets, people, in Al-Qaeda, stuff like that. And the decision is made, if an opportunity arises, to eliminate these people. Apparently Barack Obama gives the go-ahead himself. He signs off on every one of these, and then they go and send a unmanned aerial drone to go blow them up or whatever, right? Now, and apparently he makes the final decision himself, to whether or not, for instance, there was a thing they were talking about, like, if there's any civilians around, if there's a guy with his family, whether or not he's, dangerous enough that it's worth the extra, civilian casualties or collateral damage or whatever the fuck they call it, right? Which is pretty fucking disturbing. But I get a lot of shit on this channel because I'm an Obama supporter. I'm not afraid to say that I like Barack Obama. I think he's a good president, right? And probably the best president we've had in the last 50 years. 40 years, at least since Nixon, at least, I'm probably going to vote for him again. I mean, barring some kind of any unforeseen ridiculousness on his part, maybe if we find out that, I don't know, maybe he does something really bad or whatever, then maybe, yeah, but, barring any unforeseen, circumstances, I'm probably voting for him again, and a lot of people give me shit over that, especially for reasons like this, he's just continuing policies of the Bush administration, and his record on not civil rights, but his record on human rights isn't exactly 100% spotless, And the thing is that when you support somebody politically, you don't have to automatically defend everything they do, okay? This extrajudicial killing of people, I think, is the wrong way to go, right? Especially when it comes to American citizens, okay? That's kind of the big deal here, is that, one of the guys that he signed off on to execute was an American citizen. It was Anwar AlAwlaki, right? Who, if you don't know who that is, he was pretty high up there as far as, apparently, according to the U.S. government. I mean, I don't really know this for sure, but apparently in Yemen or wherever it was, he was like the top leader of the Al-Qaeda branch in that particular country, and the government of that country, the government of Yemen actually put out a wanted dead or alive kind of thing. Basically, they wanted to kill him, right? And the White House kind of did them a favor, is one way of looking at it. But he was also he was a cleric, and he made YouTube videos and like a propaganda kind of guy, right? And he also recruited people and shit like that. But the problem is that Anwar AlAwlaki was an American citizen, and he was essentially executed without a trial, right? And I think that's the wrong way to go. I think that sets a very dangerous precedent, But let's be honest, though. Is this program, this extrajudicial assassination program, is this really without, is it completely without value? I mean, I think that you'll all remember when Osama bin Laden was killed last year in one of these raids, nobody was criticizing this program then. okay? In fact, I remember people fucking celebrating in the streets and shit, so... Now, the thing that gets me, though, is that, the reaction from people in general just is very muted on this, you know. When this came out last week, you know, it wasn't that big of a fucking deal. Not from anybody, from, you know, on the news and shit like that, and, you know, especially from Republicans, you know, they weren't really, like, kind of, up in arms over it, right? And it seems that the criticism, you know, most of the criticism that comes, that is being directed at Obama over this program is coming from the progressive left, you know, people like me. I mean, I like to think of myself as a progressive, but I'm not. I'm actually more of a centrist now, but you know how far the Republicans have seemed to move to the right. It's sort of pushed the progressive left even farther to the left, and it's like I'm what used to be considered a progressive left, and I'm actually more in center left now. But anyway, but no, it's the people, you know, that make up what should be Obama's base that are giving the most criticism over this, right? You know, I mean, and actually, if you'll remember, when Osama bin Laden was killed last year, which is these same people were actually criticizing him for that too, you know, saying that he should have had a trial and blah 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 blah, you know, and it's these are people that basically the very far progressive left, you know. These are people that are kind of like they're pacifists, you know, they're anti-war in like every situation ever, you know. And I applaud them for having to sticking to their guns like that, right? Because but I have to admit that me personally, I'm not that left. I'm not. That's not me, you know. I'm not so far left that I would never use military force ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, you know, the military has a role in protecting the country from people like Osama bin Laden, you know, and Anwar AlAwlaki, and even though he was one of us, I mean, the thing is, it's a shitty situation without any clear, you know, without any clear black and white, you know, guidelines. I mean, the guy wanted to kill American citizens, and he was active in recruiting people to that cause. It's like, you know, so is the risk large enough to where it's worth just killing them? But then again, you have laws that you have to obey. I mean, it's a sticky situation regardless, right? But anyhow, you know, but I do applaud people in the anti-war left for being consistent with this. You know, they didn't like it when SEAL Team 6 was employed to go kill Osama bin Laden, and they're the ones who are criticizing Obama for this targeted kill list, you know, because it's like lots of like innocent people are getting caught in the crossfire and collateral damage and shit like that, you know. But I think that most people would agree that the elimination of high-profile terrorism suspects is within the purview of the United States government. Okay, everybody except, I mean, there's a little bit of resistance also from the really lunatic libertarian fringe people, the NWO people, who think that everything's a fucking conspiracy. But, you know, fuck those people. They don't even really seem to matter anymore. You know, there was a time not that long ago when that view could have been respectable, and it's not anymore, you know. I mean, I can't even tell you, like, every fucking day I'm getting, like, comments and shit from people that just believe conspiracy theories and they think this, like, Alex Jones shit is fucking true, and it's not, and it's just embarrassing. It's like, seriously, it's fucking embarrassing, you guys. When you come on here and you post shit about bloodlines and, like, you know, and fucking all this other ridiculous bullshit, it's like, you know, in the fucking Bohemian Grove or whatever, you're just, it's embarrassing, is what it is. Okay, you people are clowns, but anyway. But the point of that is that most people would agree that the government has a role in killing terrorists. Most people would agree that it's within the government's, you know, purview that to eliminate terrorists, you know. And now one of the things that I hear a lot, like, from people on the internet and shit like that, is that if this was happening during the Bush administration, then, like, I'd be all up in arms, right? Well, not really. I mean, probably, I probably would be a little more vocal about it. I don't know. But people need to remember that this actually did happen during the Bush administration. Now, if you think back to March of 2009, you know, which was like 3 months after Obama took office, it actually came out that Dick Cheney was running his own assassination squad out of the Oval Office, you know. And these were targeted kill teams that would go into a country, right, and without telling the country's ambassador and, like, you know, kill their fucking suspect and then leave. It was SEAL Team 6, essentially, you know. Guess who these people work for now? Okay. I mean, and that's the thing, is that when that came out, when that came out and that was in the news, there really wasn't that much of a backlash over it, because the same way that there's not much of a backlash over this coming out now, because most people in the country actually support it, you know. In fact, I mean, you'd think that the targeted killing of an American citizen would be perfect campaign fuel for, you know, the Republicans now to try to turn people against Barack Obama. You know, it's like, he's killing American citizens. You'd think that they would be using that and shit in their ads and everything, but the fact is, the most criticism that we've gotten from the Republicans on this is that, you know, they tried to take credit for Osama bin Laden. You know, that's basically that's their criticism, is that, you know, they're trying to take credit for his successes. You know, they're trying to say that it was a policy from Dick Cheney which enabled us to kill Osama bin Laden. And it's like, and that's kind of the sad part about this entire thing, folks, is that if you are one of those people that you know, that I was talking about, the anti-war left, who really, you know, if you really want this to change, right, then we need to create the environment in which it's safe for this to change. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, you know, if the majority of the people in the country support it, then there's really no incentive for our elected officials to come out against it, you know. So get involved, you know, go out, call your congressman, get involved, you know, donate to the causes, volunteer your time, volunteer your effort, right? And change, you know, and you got to change has to come from the bottom up. So that's something that people seem to have forgotten. You know, they voted for this person, you know, they voted for Obama thinking that he was just going to change everything, right? And then he couldn't do it. Then fucking 2 years later, all the people went out and they voted for all these teabagger morons thinking that they were going to change everything, right? And, you know, they kind of can't do it either. They're sort of, you know, trying to enact their ridiculous agenda, and it's not really happening either at the most part, right? It's because change doesn't start from the top. You know, you don't just elect somebody and then they just do everything for you. It has to come from the bottom up, you know. And if there's no movement behind it, if there's no movement saying that you're not allowed to do this kind of thing, you know, you're not allowed to just kill people, right, without due process, right? At least, you know, in the very least, if it's an American citizen, he should be tried in absentia and found guilty before this happens, right? If that were to happen, then yeah, okay, I could see, yeah, maybe, you know, if he's really somebody that is just insane and has like his finger on the button and is gonna fucking blow a bunch of people up and shit like that, and they gotta kill him. At least if they try him in absentia and they find him guilty and they present evidence that he is who they say he is and all that shit, you know, then maybe it wouldn't be so, I don't know, so much of an ass rape of our fucking, you know, civil liberties, I guess is the way to put it, right? But does that mean it's acceptable? I don't know. But the way it is now, basically, they, you know, it's Barack Obama and his two terrorism advisors sitting around and go, yeah, should we kill this guy? Yeah. Should we kill this guy? No. Should we kill this guy? Yeah, his kids are over, but what the fuck? Just blow him up. I mean, that's what's going on right now, and that really is pretty fucking despicable. And, but you know what's even sadder about this is that, you know, because, you know, the election's coming, right? Are you gonna, this isn't bad enough that I would vote for Mitt Romney. I mean, do you think that if Mitt Romney were in charge, he'd change this? Fuck no. Okay? He has no incentive to change it either. In fact, if he, you know, then all that would just mean is that, you know, every time he killed somebody, it would be Romney's like accomplishment, you know, if they killed the next Al Qaeda guy and shit like that. So see, Romney's tough on terrorism. See, it's not going to change because there's no movement to change it. There's no the political fucking, you know, environment is not there to remove this policy. And so if you want this to end, if you want shit like this to end, if you want militarism to end, you know, and drone strikes that, you know, kill like entire families and shit like that, and, you know, we hear about this crap in the news where, like, you know, they bomb a wedding by accident, you know, there's rescue workers, you know, there's an earthquake and shit, and there's people digging people out of rubble in a fucking, you know, they mistake them for terrorists, and an unmanned aerial drone just bombs them and kills them, or like people at a wedding or fucking celebrating and shit like that, and then just, you know, somebody drops a bomb on them and kills them and shit like that. If you want this to end, then you have to make it end. You know, where the fuck is the anti-war movement in this country? Where did it go? All right, I mean, seriously, folks, where the fuck is it? You know, it popped up for a little while, and then it kind of went to sleep right after 2009 because everybody thought the president was going to do it for us. He's not going to do it for us. We have to do it for him. That's what people don't understand. So, get out there, get involved, and fucking quit complaining about shit and do something about it. Alright? Put some pressure on the people who are in charge. This is what democracy is all about, you know. And just fucking, seriously, quit fucking complaining and go fucking do something about it, you know. But that's really all I gotta say about it. Adios.